Chapter 561. Alex couldn't help quenching his curiosity and asked, "Dad, who is this Natalia that everyone is talking about?" Trump rolled his eyes and shushed him. "Shush. You don't have to rub it in." Alex shrugged indifferently and kept quiet. Meanwhile, as more and more people surrounded them, Paul spruced himself up proudly and introduced the young man standing next to him. "Guys, I would like all of you to meet my son-in-law, Joey. He owns a startup company in the internet service industry, and the company will soon be listed on the growth enterprise market." "Wow," Phil exclaimed in shock. "How much will the company's market be worth after listing?" "I bet it must be hundreds of millions, right?" "Hundreds of millions," Paul curled his lips pompously and blurted, "It starts with $1 billion, to say the least." "Think about it, do you know how difficult it is for a company to be listed? Without a certain foundation and stability, how could a company pass so many rounds of reviews by the Securities Regulatory Commission?" Then, he added, "Tell you the truth, when his company is listed, the market value will definitely exceed $1 billion. The performance of his company has risen very rapidly over the past 2 years. If you're interested in making money, you should buy his company's shares." Joey, Paul's son-in-law, who had been quiet the whole time, suddenly said, "Dad, hold on, relax. I'm just an entrepreneur who recently ventured into the industry. I pale in comparison to your old friends who have made great achievements throughout their lives." Joey's modesty had won the favor of many people at the scene. An old man with silver hair sighed, "Oh, Paul, your son-in-law is so young and promising, yet so humble and low-key. He is a good son-in-law, you're very lucky." "Of course," Paul nodded dismissively. Then, he turned to Trump and asked attentively, "By the way, Trump, what does your son-in-law do?" "My son-in-law?" Trump glanced at Alex and huffed a disappointing sigh. He wanted to brag and conceal it with a lie, but it would be even more embarrassing if someone saw through his lies, so he said sheepishly, "He does housework." "What? Housework?" Loud waves of laughter echoed among the crowd. No one would have thought that they would get such an absurd answer from Trump. Paul grinned and said, "He does housework, which means he doesn't have a job, am I right?" "Trump, I heard that you are a house husband as well, right? Why don't I ask my son-in-law to assign some jobs for both of you?" "Trump, you're quite old now, I think you should be fine with being a guard at the entrance. As for your son-in-law, he is young and has experience in housework, so he can work at the staff canteen as a chef and waiter. What do you think?" The crowd laughed again. Alex remained silent the whole time. He was so used to being insulted and mocked over the years that he felt nothing out of it. He had gone through worse insults than this, so not only did he not feel ashamed at all, but he felt that Paul's sarcasm was a bit mediocre. Trump, on the other hand, was extremely infuriated. He cursed inside his heart, "Paul, you jerk. You pompous bastard, you started to mock and tease me when we've just met, you've crossed the line. Do you still hold a grudge for not being able to tackle Natalia? That's why you can't get off my back after so many years." Paul started again when none of them responded. "Hey, Trump, are you deaf? I kindly introduced some jobs to you, can't you say something?" Then, he turned to Alex and blurted in annoyance, "Young man, your father-in-law's brain cannot function very well due to his age, so I can forgive him for being slow and impolite. But you, young man, are you impolite and slow like him too?" Alex smiled and said, "Uncle, frankly speaking, I'm not cheap to be hired. My required salary is very high."